Today we're talking about the ways that people can obtain citizenship in the United States. First way is easy, and you know that. It's that you're born in the United States or you're born to American citizens. The second way is naturalization. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the naturalization process in this video. First of all, it's important to know, and I know you've noted it before, that immigration and naturalization, especially in the 20th century, have led to an increasingly diverse society. If you look at this map, you can see the origins of American diversity show people coming from all other places, coming from Asia, Australia, Latin America, Canada, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa to the United States, showing us that the way we experience our diversity is through various cultures from various parts of the world coming to us. In this graph, you can see that more immigrants come when things are peaceful, like in 1901 to 1910, than they do in years where there is war, like in 1941 to 1950 when World War II happened in the United States. To become a citizen through naturalization, the first thing a person has to do is to demonstrate knowledge of American history and principles and the ability to speak and write English. They do this by answering questions for a test that are in English. You saw the video last week that showed the comedian Craig Ferguson going through the test, and it looks exactly like it does in this picture. This is a graphic showing the composition of the United States population by race in 1998. And if you look at this cartoon, it relates to immigration because you can see people coming onto a boat going to the United States, and take note of the demons and darkness that they're fleeing behind them and the sunlight behind the American flag. So, we need to know a little bit more about the naturalization process. First is the Declaration of Intention, and you can see an example of a declaration on the screen in front of you. The declaration is a statement that the person immigrating to the United States intends to become a citizen, and after they fill out the declaration, many immigrants sometimes take classes to prepare for citizenship. Because like we said when we were watching the videos, the United States Customs and Immigration Services do release the questions for the immigration test. But they release 150 questions and only ask you 10. So many immigrants take classes to help them study for the test. In addition, the applicants have to live in the United States. You can't apply for citizenship to the United States but live in Canada. It doesn't work that way. The second step is that they file an application for naturalization. The applicants for naturalization must be at least 18 years old. They must live in the United States for at least 5 years unless they are married to a United States citizen, which cuts their wait time down to 3, or if they're in the military, it would also cut their wait time down to 3 years. Next, the immigrant meets with an immigrant examiner. The examiner asks them a series of questions about American history and government. This is the test that you know of. You saw the immigrant examiner examining Craig Ferguson last week. The immigrant must answer the questions correctly in English. In this cartoon, you can see sort of a humorous show of what would have happened if there was immigration and naturalization services when Columbus discovered America. The next step after meeting with the examiner is that the immigrant takes the citizenship oath. You also saw a video of this with Mr. Ferguson. The immigrant officially declares their allegiance to the United States before a judge or an official, and they clearly renounce allegiance to any other country in the oath. You heard the oath last week, so you know what that sounds like. And here's a flow chart that shows you sort of the two ways of becoming a citizen of the United States. First is birth, and you can see that you can be born under American jurisdiction or outside of America as long as one or both of your parents are U.S. citizens. Naturalization can happen individually, which is generally the way we look at it, and that means the person emigrating is a legal resident for 5 years, they understand English, and they know basic U.S. history and government. So looking at what's most important to understand about this information, first of all, there are two ways that American can become a citizen, either by birth or by naturalization. Think of these discussion questions on your own. See you next time.